Okay.
Okay. All right, good evening. I'm going to call to order the joint meeting of the Committee of Infrastructure and the Board of Police Commissioners, this being July 9th, 2025. And the meeting is being held in the automatic chamber at 6 p.m. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Absolutely. Commissioner Nicholas Dahl. Commissioner Gwen Cralo. Commissioner James Toller.
Here.
Alderman Chris Thibodeau.
Here.
Alderman John Sullivan. Alderman Richard Dowd.
Present.
Alderman Clee is here, and Alderman at Large Michael O'Brien.
Present.
You have 1, 2, 3, 4. You have 5 present.
Okay, I think we met the quorum requirements. Also in attendance, we want to welcome Mr. Tim Cummings, Administrative Services Director, and Mr. Tim Lemire, representing GPI. Introductory remarks, I really don't have much. It's good to see everybody here. Also, Lieutenant or is it Captain?
Lieutenant.
Lieutenant, could you give your name for the record?
Joshua Albert.
Okay, you have that?
Joshua Albert,
All
yeah.
right, thank you and welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, so that's about it. I can at this time recognize Administrative Services Director, Mr. Tim Cummings.
Public comment?
Okay, I had you actually before in the script.
I have no marks, Mr. Chairman, thank you.
You have no remarks, and so I'll go to public comment. Seeing nobody from the public here, we'll move on to the approval of the minutes. Yes, Commissioner Toner.
Yeah, I was just going to make a motion to approve.
Okay, if you could hold off on that one motion for a second, please.
I usually do the motion.
It seems to be a typo. We made it on the script, so what we read at this meeting will be what will be, on the log. And that is to approve the minutes of May 15th and June 25th
Yep.
meetings, okay? So that is the only change to that. So with that, you got to do it, or
I can do it,
Commissioner
or you-
Toner?
or you
Okay,
want
yeah.
Commissioner Toner to do it, it's fine.
One is, that's fine.
Mr. Chairman, I motion to approve the minutes of the May 15th and the June 25th, 2025 meetings.
Okay, any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. General progress update. Now I'll turn again to Administrative Services Director Tim Cummings.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I'm actually just going to hand it right over to the city's owner's project manager, who is facilitating the project, Mr. Tim Lemire, to my right, who will give us a detailed project update.
Yeah, can we get that on that? It might be over on the clerk's desk.
Yeah, it's not up here, sorry.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We'll be somewhat brief with this week's update, as we had just met and updated 2 weeks ago when we've had a holiday in there, so not a real significant change in progress, but you will see the earthwork operations have gone from about 60% to 75%, and the garage went from about 15 to 30%, with the foundation work now being complete on the new garage. And no change on any of the design features, except the Joint Committee did approve the amendment for our designer, LaValle Bresinger, to now design the EV charging stations for the police at 9 Riverside. We do have a small amount of zero-cost change notifications to the Joint Committee, and this would be, so I'll just go down the list briefly, and we'll get through these a little bit later on the agenda, but change notification number 7 is for lighting in the city IT data room, which will be adjacent to the NTS offices. We had split office in half to give the city a new IT room to split it from the police, and the way the room split, there was no lights in it. The lights were in the police half of the split office, so we have a change to add lighting. Change notification number 11 is in removing some of the parking lot lights. There were some wires that were not connected that are live that should be, so we are having our electrician rectify this in a new handhole. So change notification number 12 is some of the existing offices in the police side did not, this is to upgrade the lights to be the sensor lights, and they weren't all connected to the correct lights, so this is to rectify that for the existing police offices in 9 Riverside. And CN number 13 is also a no-cost change in our electrical allowance, but in this particular case, a communications cable run exceeded what Cat 5 cable could do, and it needs to be a fiber, which cost a small amount more, but again, we have allowance money to make that small change. So we will be asking for those to be approved, and as I mentioned, they're all net zero on the GMP on the contract. The other item is owner's change order number 2, and that is also $0, but that encompasses all the changes that the Joint Committee approved on June 25th. So there's nothing really new in that, except we are now executing that as a contract change order for $0. Where we currently stand with Whiting Turner in their GMP, if the Joint Committee approves their June invoice, we will be at 29% spent out of the GMP funds with 0 added dollars. So we are in a stable place and on track for the contract, and that's where my budget analysis is, where we have the 3.5 million of approved project budget. We are sorry, that's the number I wanted to display. We're still at about 667 spent, with about 3.3 currently budgeted and programmed for construction. And just a couple photos, and I'll be brief here because there aren't a lot of significant changes, but now what we're trying to show here is all the foundation walls for the garage have now been placed. That is one significant change from 2 weeks ago, where there was no concrete before. Now we have actual foundations. And I'm going to be brief. I'm not going to go through all Whiting Turner slides, but we are looking at towards the end of July to have this is the important week right here, which would be next week, which is that the contractor is now starting to do all the access control and security work on the building perimeter for the police in the next week and then 2 weeks. So that's kind of been long awaited and coordinated to make sure that the security is up to the police standards. And these are repeat slides from before, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this in the current contract phasing, but this is the garage area down here that the contractor now has their footings and foundations out of the ground, ready to do the actual slab and build the building on top of. So we're moving along quite well. And this is just displaying the earthwork and perimeter fencing phasing, in which case all our temporary fencing is up. A lot of our earthwork, as I showed, has been accomplished, so we're going to be holding here for a while. But any questions?
Yeah, any questions? Alderman Clay.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just wanted to go back to where we talk about that there's $0 for those change orders. There's actually cost with it, but what you're saying is it's within the budgeted amount, so it doesn't add to the contract. and therefore it's not like we have to add additional money to the, is that correct? The reason I asked that is because the last meeting we had something similar, and I had a constituent who said to me, how can they be doing this for free? And I said, no, they're not. It's just within the contingency money. And one of the things they said was, well, where can I find what the cost of that is? And then, so,
So if I may, Mr. Chairman, so you're absolutely correct, Alderman Clee. It is recognized within the GMP, and what this is just doing is detailing out that we're transferring the monies within the lines of the various GMP that's being carried. So whether it's contingency, and when I say contingency, I'm talking about the contractor's contingency. It could be an allowance line item. It could be escalation. It could be one of the lines that was budgeted and turned out to be maybe a little bit additional in there, and so it may make sense to move it to a different line. We just want to capture that, memorialize it from an accounting perspective, but it doesn't add any additional dollars to the project.
and may I follow up?
Follow up?
And just for those that are listening, if you were following the trails of invoices and so on, you would see that there's a bill for that amount, but we're just staying within the budget of the GMP and so on. So it's not like we're trying to hide these costs and so on. We showed up here zero because of that particular, as you mentioned, but that there actually is cost to it, and we would see it in the invoices, and we would see it in the tally sheets and so on. So, thank you.
Alderman Dowd?
Yeah, when you send out the agenda, do you send out copies of the CN? I haven't seen them. Copies, so what's being done in each CN?
Yes, as part of the agenda packet.
Okay, I don't remember seeing it.
Yeah,
In
I
fact, the
will.
only thing I get was this time.
No, there's, when you go into the agenda packets, it's there, I apologize.
Yeah, I'll forward it to you.
The other thing is the presentation in there?
No.
So at the joint special, when Harvey gives us a presentation every meeting, we get an advanced hard copy either sent to us ahead of time or handout at the meeting.
We can do that. We can hand it out at the meeting. Happy to do that. No problem.
And I've been putting it on here for Donna to have a record of it.
Well, it becomes part of the minutes, but that's after the fact.
Yeah.
Right,
But I do put it here for her.
during the meeting, the day of the meeting, we can have handouts if that's the
Yeah.
pleasure. It's,
Then we can mark them up.
yeah. Yeah, happy to send them around at the meeting.
Okay, any other questions by members of the committee? Seeing none, we will move to approval.
Mr. Chairman,
yes.
can I just clarify one thing?
Yes.
So, Alderman Dowd, you said very specifically the PowerPoint, but would it help you if it's the packet that is printed out? I just want to clarify, because happy to print out the packets as well, if that's what you're looking for, so you can
No.
follow along in writing.
Yeah, no, the packets, you're talking about the packets that have the CNs and all that?
Correct.
Just give them
Yep.
online.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's okay, so we can have the PowerPoint if that's what you're looking for.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right, clear that up. Approval of invoices. Alderman Clee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I motion to approve the June 30th, 2025 Whiting Turner invoice in the amount of $134,674.13.
Any discussion on this motion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next,
Thank you again, Mr. Chairman. I motion to approve the June 23rd, 2025 Greenman Peterson Incorporated invoice in the amount of $3,649.31.
okay, any discussion on this motion? Seeing none, I will call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And approval of new contract proposals. Alderman Clay?
Thank you again. I'd like to motion to approve the Whiting Turner Contracting Company change notification number 7 for the date, room lights, I'm sorry, it
Data.
should be data room lights, I apologize, yeah. I'm reading this, I'm like, that didn't sound right.
We don't have a date room, do we, in there?
I did pause. For data room lights, change notification number 11. For site electrical, change notification number 12. for lighting controls, change notification number 13 for data wiring, and other change order number 2 for change notification number 3 through 6 and 8 through 10.
Okay. Any discussion on the dates? Yeah, no? None? Okay, I'll call for the votes. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Now moving on to general financial overview. We are authorized for $3,500,000, and currently we're at $3,318,692.48 budgeted through construction, and there's $664,788.07 in current spending. And to speak on this, I'll turn to Administrative Services Director Tim Cummings.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So I think this probably warrants a little discussion, just so folks are understanding a little bit about what they're reading. So not sure how you want to look at it per se, but the big takeaways would be we have 3.5 authorized. If you look at the 3.3, that is basically what's programmed. So rough numbers, if we were to end this project, we're on a trajectory to have a surplus of approximately $200,000. So that's the way you should be kind of looking at this right now, and that's if everything goes according to plan. I'll note, though, for the record, that the GMP is only for $2.3 million. So there's about $1 million of what we're calling programmed funds, but that is above and beyond the 2.3 that are additional work that is going to be needed for the 9 Riverside site or for the police campus in general, if you will, if you're thinking of the site in its totality. And as the police department continues to evolve in the project evolves and the police evolves, we'll start to look to contract and obligate those funds to bring us up to that 3.3 figure. So I just want to kind of set the table on that so folks kind of understand where we're coming from.
Alderman Dowd.
Yeah, just for clarification, the budgeted through construction, that includes the contingency accounts, right?
Yes, correct.
So if we don't spend the contingency, that comes back too.
Correct.
So your statement was if we ended the project right now, there'd be that balance between that number and it'd be higher than that. If we didn't spend contingency.
If you, right, correct. I'm assuming we're spending. So if we're spending, I just wanted to kind of give folks the worst case scenario type
Based
situation.
on some of our public comment lately, I wouldn't say we're planning on spending it one way or the other. That's,
We may not be.
if we have something that's unexpected, then we might spend it.
Understood.
Alderman Clay.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Lemire, you had mentioned something about that we were 29%. Is that, it's right here, it says
Yep.
that the invoice is 29%. So when we're talking about the 2.3 million, it's 29% of the 2.3 million
Correct.
of that GMP and not of that
That's
3.5 or
correct.
3.3. Okay,
Yep.
that's why I brought that slide up. I
Yep.
just wanted to
Yep.
clarify that.
Yeah, that's correct. That 29% of spending to date is just in the contractual GMP amount with Whiting Turner. It does not have any of the soft costs in it either, so there's a little bit more project spending going on than that, but it's insignificant in relation to Whiting Turner's GMP.
Thank you.
Okay, further comment? Seeing none, I'm going to move on to owed or miscellaneous business items. There is none. So I think it's time that we could start to discuss when our next meeting may be.
Correct.
Director Cummings, do you have any ideas?
I'd like to suggest August 13th at 5:30 or 6 PM, whatever the pleasure of the body is, but if we could look towards August 13th?
We check with the police
August
commissioners.
13th.
That's fine. We'll have somebody here.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, is that doable, Mr. Toner?
Yes.
Commissioner Toner? Okay, and that's at 6 o'clock?
That works for me, 6 o'clock, sir?
Is 6 o'clock good with everybody?
Yep.
Okay. Well, of course, this will be pending our administrative services to make sure that this room isn't booked or we have a room, so.
I'll work with Ms. Graham to.
Could you? Yes.
Yep.
And then also, as far as, we're going to get a copy of this presentation for the record.
I put it on
Okay.
I put it on the computer.
And the suggestions by Alderman Dowd, if that could be included.
We will-
In the future, in the packet, that kind of makes everything clean hands.
Happy to do it starting at the
Good,
August
that's
13th
good.
meeting. We'll have
Any-
PowerPoints.
Anybody else got anything that I forgot, or any other comments for the good of the organization? Seeing none? Okay, Alderman Clee, our favorite motion.
Yes, it certainly is. At this time, I'd like to motion for adjournment.
A motion to adjourn. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I'll declare the meeting closed at 6:21 PM.
How many minutes?